What is going on, everybody? So, my name is Judd, and I have been working on this crazy project for a very long time, on and off for many years. So, ever since like 2000, maybe 17, 2016, basically rewriting, the question was, what happens if we rewrite the Japanese language using Hangul? And very simple question. And it took me down a lot of different variations, a lot of different spellings, a lot of different research, and basically it was a huge project. The scope of which is really, really crazy, and it's still an ongoing project for me. But yeah, this is the version one, phase one of my project. So yeah, I have launched a website called pahaga.co, PAHAGA.co, and that's short for Pahangana, the name of my script, my writing system. So it's a modified Korean alphabet that I'm using to rewrite the Japanese language. And I have spelling rules. There are rules for all of these, like why I'm using them. I'll have to explain in a later video. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting. So the short of it is, for that question, what happens if we rewrite the Japanese language into like Korean alphabet? Next question was, well, then how do we know how to spell? How do we know what the real spellings are? So I thought, okay, well, we have, two categories of vocabulary. We have like native Japanese vocabulary, and then we also have Sino-Japanese vocabulary. So that's the vocabulary that comes from China, specifically a lot of it from Middle China, from the Song and the Tang dynasties. So yeah, basically, I looked at a ton of Middle Chinese reconstructions of these kanji or the hanja or the hanzi of the Chinese characters, and I just looked at the data, like how did they reconstruct how Middle Chinese sounded like these researchers like Baxter or Zhengzhang, Shangfang, Pan Wuyun, they're like Chinese scholars, Chinese researchers, Chinese linguists. And I looked at their data and I thought, okay, well, let's look at this character. How do they spell in Middle Chinese? Okay, cool. This is how I'm going to spell it. And it has to match this spelling. So this is one important thing about this is this here. So if you speak Korean or if you can read Hangul, you might be thinking, what the heck is this? Like, Guichi? Guichi? Yeah, but this is not Hangul. This is Pahangana. This is Pahaga. This is my rule set for pronouncing. So I'm using the Korean alphabet, but I'm not using like the Korean rules 100%. I'm using a lot of the Korean pronunciation rules, but I'm adding and modifying and changing a lot of the rules. So this here, I mean, even the very first kanji, number one, we're going way off the rails. So this here, this is the important thing, is pronounced exactly like this. This is pronounced ichi. So this is phase one of this project. The phase one is to rewrite kanji, to rewrite their spellings to match modern Japanese pronunciation, while at the same time reconstructing and like bringing back how Middle Chinese sounds, or the structure of the Middle Chinese word originally. So that's a pretty complicated task. And so the first and foremost is like the rules. These spelling rules have to match perfectly, without exception. This is 100% pronounced like modern Japanese, ichi. And as much as possible, I have to try to fit the spelling to match the Middle Chinese. So I think a really good example, let's go to I think, where is it? Did I pass it already? Month. Oh, I have a search here. I should have used the search. So, month. So here we have in Korean wol, and then in the Japanese we have getsu, getsu like getsuyobi, and gatsu. And man, maybe let's zoom in a little bit. It might be a little small, but I want y'all to see. So the goal was to maintain the structure of Middle Chinese in these spellings. And so we can see, like, so the initial, like, I think this was like ng. In Middle Chinese, it was like ng, like ngwa. I think it was probably pronounced like that, ngwa. And so here in Korean, they dropped that and just wal. Originally, final ideals were tiet, like what. And then Japanese preserved that as a g, so gwet. But modern Japanese, or Japanese, this is one of the, I guess, the secrets of Japanese kanji, or even Japanese in general, is that Japanese words have pachim all over the place. It's everywhere in the language. The problem is that hiragana, katakana, and kanji, you can't show final consonants. Like, it's impossible. It's simply impossible to write, to structurally show how the words are structured, like their core origin. Then this is a whole other separate topic. I'm probably gonna have to make another video or a video about that. But anyway, you can see that we have wal, gwet, and structurally it looks very, very similar. You have like the u glide right here, and you have the e and the o right here. So if I'm assuming you know Hangul, if you don't know Hangul, I apologize. But even this was another one of my goals as well. Even if you don't know how to read these, you should be able to see a visual similarity. And that is important because it's not just visual similarity. It means there's a structural similarity. That's one of the beautiful things about Hangul, is that you can see structure. It's a beautiful, probably one of the best, writing systems, if not the best writing system that we currently have so far. So yeah, so you can clearly see structure. Yeah, so here's as well, like rice field, we have John and Den. So you can see, like, even if you don't know how to read Hangul, you're just like, oh, look, you have this vertical line here, we have a vertical line here, and we have, oh, these two are the same. And that's because they are the same. Like, they're originally from the same Middle Chinese or Chinese word. Yeah, here, like, I, we have mok, and then moku, and then like bok, boku. So it's like, oh, look, you have a little square-like thing. If so, I'm explaining if you don't know how to read Hangul, or Pahangana, my new script. It's like, oh, look, these both have a square. These both have like a little hat, and they both have like a little angular thing. It's like, oh, that's pretty obvious. But so it's like, okay, yeah, they're basically the same. But if you only have this is modern Korean, modern Japanese. It's like, okay, if you know how to read them both, then you can see that there's a similarity. So that means you have to know Korean, Hangul, and you have to know Japanese, kana. But my goal was, one of my many goals in this crazy project is, even if you don't know how to read Hangul, even if you're like an alien or whatever, it should be immediately apparent that these two are similar. That was one of my sub goals. It should be so clear and obvious with the spellings as well. And that's like by reconstructing the original structure. Yeah, and I think I'll probably have to show how I came up with how do I know what the original structure is, because I have to show that there's like a lot of Middle Chinese data. So what's some fun ones? Oh yeah, so here we're going off the rails. This is another thing I'll have to explain later about diphthongs. Yeah, Uh, okay, yeah, this is yeah, we have Mei and Myo. This is a fun one because one of the questions that I was wondering like about is like how can you have two such very different pronunciations for the same character, Mei and Myo, and so I've actually reconstructed them. So if you look, these are exactly the same. And if you know Hangul, you'll be like, well, this doesn't make any sense because it's mieng ui. So the Middle Chinese, like reconstruction is like mieng. And so my rule, for example, this is just an example of the explanation. So if you have an like a yeah, this Y-A-E vowel plus E, it's just A. So A. So you see this? So this is pronounced May. And then if you have this ya sound vowel plus u, that's yo. So myo. And so this accomplishes a lot of things at the same time. So we can compare like, oh, yeah, the core structure, the root of the word is the same because this is the Middle Chinese. This is based off of Middle Chinese. So it's like, okay, well, that makes sense. So that means, okay, so these are from the same word. And if we add this, ui, or this e sound, then it's mei, which is Japanese mei. If we add the u, it's myo. And then we can also compare it to the Korean Hangul, like myong, mei, like myong, myo, and meng, and mei. So it's the Pahangana, like this, my writing system, my reconstructions are like a bridge. So it's connecting Middle Chinese, modern Japanese, modern Korean, and just like trying to like reveal and make sense of like what's going on. Because the problem, and I've said this a lot about the Japanese writing system, it's a beautiful disaster. It is absolutely beautiful. Probably in my opinion, it's like one of the most beautiful writing systems ever created. Absolutely beautiful. Hiragana, katakana, you got the angular, you got the wavy, you got the kanji. It's absolutely beautiful. But in terms of like linguistic accuracy, it's kind of it's got a lot of problems. And Hangul is very, I wouldn't say perfect, but it's definitely up there. If it's probably the best that we have, the best system that we have, writing system that we have, especially particularly for comparing Korean, Japanese, and Middle Chinese. So maybe not Middle Chinese, but for at least Korean and Japanese. So yeah, that's so I'm this is just an example, and yeah, you can go to the website pahaga.com. I currently have, or pahaga.co. I wanted to have it all two syllables, so it's .co, pahaga.co. So yeah, I have here, there's 3,000 characters that I have painstakingly, so I want to make this clear. I didn't like the website, a lot of the database stuff, and the spreadsheets and merging data and sorting and all this stuff. I did use I enlisted the help of AI and coding and scripting and all this stuff. But I wanted to make this very, very clear. All of these spellings I did one by one, by like literally by hand or by finger because I'm typing it on. Basically, I look at the Middle Chinese data, I look at the Japanese, I look at the Korean, and then I figure out, okay, how do I reconstruct the Japanese? And everything has to align. Like, okay, it has to align with Middle Chinese structure because that's the origin. And it also the spelling has to align with modern Japanese pronunciation. And the rules must be consistent among all 3,000 Chinese characters. I did not use any AI, any automation, because I started this way back in like 2017, 2018, 2016. I don't remember exactly when. There was no AI back then, or maybe there was. I didn't know about it. I did like a version 1 a long time ago, all by hand, and I literally, let me just get the books out here. I have the books with me. So the Heisig books, remembering the kanji, I literally, because I didn't know how to use computers that well, I literally went through each page and like went through every single spelling and like typed it out because I also wanted to practice typing, and it was literally like a monk. Like imagine like a monk literally like handwriting everything out one by one and going through all these groups. Yeah, I did that. Very, very inefficient, but yes, I just want to drive the point home that I went through all of these spellings one by one to like not automation, no AI formula or algorithm or whatever. This was all one by one. And probably after I finalize everything, I'm 100% certain the spellings, AI can probably like analyze all these and create like these patterns or whatever and analyze it. But all of these I did by hand, and I created the rules myself. So and a lot of them aren't gonna make sense, especially if you're like coming just from Hangul. You'll be like, these pronunciations don't make any sense. Some of them do. Like this one is very simple. It makes perfect sense. That's who. But like this one, like how do you say that? Like cow, but that's cool. So yeah, basically all I'm saying is I created this. This is phase one. It's Middle Chinese and Japanese. It's the bridge. Then I'll be working on the bridge between modern Japanese and modern Japanese and modern Korean, and that's where I think a lot of the fun is going to happen. Because then, like you'll really see, like here, like this. This is just so some of them happen to work very nicely, where the Middle Chinese, Japanese, modern Japanese, and modern Korean all align like pretty nicely. So you have kai, which is I have rewritten this as this. This is pronounced kai. So this, it's not pronounced kwai, it's kai. This is kai. And then, oh, look at that. It happens to look very, very similar to the Korean kwe, and that is not a coincidence. So, yeah, that's an example of like one that's pretty obvious. Let's see. Here's another one. Pretty obvious. Sung, chong. You have the s and j, very similar sounds. You have the ing, the final ing. You have an and yo. Yeah, there's some pretty obvious ones. Some are less obvious. Yeah, this is pretty obvious as well. Same as before. Like, yeah, pa and ha. Yeah, that's pretty obvious, pretty simple. Because like they're bilabial, so you use your lips, ha, or pa, you do. But ha, in Japanese, pa and ha are very related. Yeah, b, yeah, but yeah, some of them kind of go off the rails here, like this hiu, and that's because the Middle Chinese, it is actually hiu. That's actually like what it is. So the rule then is if it's ye and u, that's yo. So hyo. This is pronounced hyo. Yeah. All right. So I'm just kind of rambling, but just showing some examples here. Oh yeah, and actually I didn't even explain where all these kanji came from. So basically, I have all these 3,000 kanji. These are based off of James Heisig's pretty famous book called Remembering the Kanji, and which I have here, Remembering the Kanji. This is book 3, book 2. I have book 1 as well, but just not right now. And these are the readings, or these are sorry, not the readings, the keywords that Heisig has assigned to each of these kanji. And so yeah, 3,000 of them, 3,000 kanji, painstakingly researched and respelled one by one. So yeah, I'm not 100% satisfied, but I'm very, very satisfied with the 3,000 the version 1, the phase 1 of the Middle Chinese Japanese connection. There's a couple typos still. I mean, typos as in like I haven't I adjusted the rules and I haven't updated all the characters yet, or updated all of the spellings yet. But yeah, it is, I would say, 95% complete. And of 3,000, that's pretty good. Yeah, maybe even higher. But yeah, so I'm very, very confident of these reconstructions of the Japanese words. And then I will be working on phase two, where I'll be comparing the Middle Chinese. I'll be comparing the modern Japanese and Korean. So yeah, this is just my first video. I've been rambling. I initially thought I would make a script, but I was like, I'm just gonna talk and just see what happens, and just let the let the thoughts flow. So thanks for listening. And yeah, this is going to be a fun journey. There's going to be a lot more to come. This website's going to be built out a lot. I'm going to be working a lot on my YouTube channel, making a lot of videos about this. Yeah, there is a lot to do. So yeah, like, subscribe, whatever, follow for the journey. It's going to be a kind of a crazy one. And there's also a lot of other videos and topics I want to talk about, including why I didn't publish this sooner. That's also an interesting one. So yeah, so pahaga.co. And yeah, so yeah, my name's Judd. Thanks for watching. Yeah, peace.